It's not natural sun, is it, Mexico? Get hacked into our phone.
I'm going to tell you about a couple experiences I've had with shapeshifters. My encounters were definitely negative, and I believe that it did have to do with a demonic presence. A shapeshifter is an entity that's able to manipulate.
All right, here we're looking at Richard C. Baker. Managed Funds and Associates, the CEO, Richard C. Baker. Inescapable. Bring up your old photos, you in your 1st through 4th grade class photos with you and all the kids in the class, and blow up all the eyes. What you'll see will shock you. 98% of all the kids that are in the class with you have a slit in their eye. And if you bring up enough of your photos, you'll see you got a slit in your eye too. You got a reptilian core to your brain. Nobody escapes this. We are part of the slave class, people. Nobody escapes this. You need to unite peacefully out of love for each other and a common cause of survival. I'm not saying all these guys are bad. Look, you got a reptilian core to your brain. You got one slit to your eye. But there is a group of these people that do eat humans. And you do need to unite peacefully. And you need to find love for each other. For your survival. I love you people. See my channel immediately. How you guys doing? Thanks for joining me. Here we're looking at Katy Perry. Reptilian shapeshifter. Clear as day. Those of you who are not familiar with this stuff, I recommend that you go look at your brain chart. You will see that you are reptilian at the core of your brain. It shows you on every brain chart. And it's responsible for fight or flight. Now make no mistake about it. You will be the slave class, the food class. And these guys will eat you. They will rape you. They will drink the blood of your children. And everybody you know is sleeping. People don't like to face this type of stuff because it's scary. I understand. But at some point, you're going to have to face the truth, people, that everything you've ever been told is a lie. Now, you're living on a flat earth plane. You're in a two-dimensional holographic matrix. It's a free energy machine. You can't pick out simple shapes that are on everything that you touch. And you were supposed to learn those shapes when you were a kid or a child. That makes you retarded, 100%. But on that note, let me say I'm appreciative of you guys leaving those nice comments. Thank you so much. You know, I'm not directing this talk at, the people that are obviously awake. Obviously, those sleeping people, they're just so stubborn. They leave the silliest comments. It's like we're all sounding off the alarms here, and people are calling us crazy. Okay? Make no mistake about it. You are the food class. You are the slave class. And these guys will absolutely drink the blood of your children. Look up the Harvard study. They're showing you that the blood of your children reverses aging. Okay? And your brain chart shows you have a reptilian core to your brain. It's responsible for fight or flight. You can bury your head under your pillow or in the sand as long as you want to. It ain't going away, people. It's that you could say that we're crazy, but it's actually that you're a crazy douchebag and you need to start helping out. And you need to start uniting peacefully out of love for each other and a common cause of survival, people. We're in this shit together.
Genesis chapter 3 verses 1. I think that's Spanish. I don't know. Promise. I think that's Spanish writing, reference to Israel, with the bloodlines.
Is seen shopping and appears to take notice of a mother and her
Heart pounds. You want to just grab him like
jumping into action, grabbing the girl, for the child as she's pulled through the store. Eventually, the
heart pounds. You want to just grab him like.
An instance like this, and
Good morning, Robin. This morning, that Florida mom is being credited for saving her.
Sicilian. All right.
worried about that. I'm really in touch with my fans and I know what they like. What my fans in general were afraid of was that I would start making pop music and I would stop writing smart lyrics, or I would stop writing emotional lyrics. And when they heard the new music, they...
Wow.
Was one of the more amazing things that I've ever experienced, and I do really believe he elevated me as a performer.
That's demonic.
He was one of the more amazing things that I've. He was one of the more amazing things that I've. He was one of the more amazing things that I've ever experienced, and I do really believe he elevated me as a performer.
So this channel is Best Reptilian Shapeshifters Alien on TV 5 years ago.
Are interested in Canada's CSE's National Security Agency, the NSA.
Oh. I'll be right back. Gotta get a cup of tea.
$100,000 to America's National Security Agency, the NSA. It's potentially the most intrusive intelligence agency in the world. It dwarfs both the CIA and the FBI in budget, manpower, and influence.
NSA and the Pentagon have been allowed to get increasingly involved in domestic law enforcement activities and domestic intelligence gathering activities.
The surveillance machine is humming away in secret, scanning the electronic traffic, waiting for a new list of keywords, a list that might one day pop up with our name, our email address, and our telephone number, and we'll never know how or why we have become a target of the state. Resistance to an ever-widening surveillance network of a technology-adept Big Brother is difficult, especially when surveillance is presented as something that will make our lives more secure, something that is good for us. All the while, our privacy slips further and further out of our control until we are ultimately left naked with no place to hide.
Shown here is a FEMA facility in Denton, Texas, where you can see mile after mile of FEMA command and control trailers. These trailers are self-sustaining and contain electrical generators and communications equipment that can be moved out anywhere in the country to start a FEMA operations center. Several military manuals, such as these manuals, ranging from 1985 through 1994, speak of FEMA as the implementing agency for Operation Garden Plot, the plan to put American citizens in prison camps under military control. This 1994 Field Manual for Military Police speaks of Operation Garden Plot as a DoD civil disturbance plan that tells the military what they can and cannot do, and that they will operate under FEMA control. This is a FEMA facility in Denton, Texas, with Region 6 plainly noted on its sign from the FEMA regional map. Notice that this agency that is supposedly to protect us is highly guarded with electronically controlled fencing, topped by barbed wire, guarded by speakers and cameras. The FEMA plans to imprison American citizens have generated a lot of interest around the country in locating the potential prison camps throughout the country. These may be facilities currently being used as prisons, such as those you saw earlier, or prisons that are being built supposedly in the name of the war on drugs, or facilities that have other uses but which could be quickly used to. At this level, it is a very large parking lot fenced on all sides by fence topped by barbed wire. It also has these electronically operated turnstiles pointing out to the parking lot, and a helicopter windsock. All of these apparent security measures are particularly unusual here, because this is a very low crime area, and this facility is nothing but an old train repair station with nothing in it worth stealing. In this portion of the parking lot is a brick building, suitable for processing, next to a gate that leads right out to the railroad tracks, and all of this is contained inside a fully fenced area, now 3 layers deep in fencing at this point. This small building is the only way into a particular fenced area. Inside this building, we see more of the motion-activated detectors, electronic turnstiles, and prison bars. Outside this building is fencing and a cattle run section of fence, all topped by barbed wire, pointing inward, not to keep people out, but to keep people in. Inside the fenced area on the other side of the building, you'll see signs that say Red Zone, right up next to the railroad tracks that run the length of the fenced area. Next to the Red Zone sign, you can see closely numbered markers on the fences that are too closely spaced to be parking markers, just as if they plan to have people line up to board the trains. Here's a helicopter marker on the power lines outside the facility, indicating expected helicopter traffic, and again, another tall radio antenna. Looking around, you can get an idea of how huge this place is and how many people it could contain in its fenced-in area. In yet another fenced area, we see a large warehouse building at the end, with the electronic turnstiles in front of it. The building is one that has a new concrete floor, and its doors and windows have all been blocked. Outside, there are new gas pipes. The gas lines and gas pipes at the facility run the length of the buildings and come out at some very, very large, brand new furnaces that have been installed at the buildings throughout the facility. Inside the facility, we found large fenced-in areas next to the railroad tracks marked green zone and blue zone, suitable for holding a lot of people. This tower, overlooking the entire facility at one end of the facility along the railroad tracks, also has a radio antenna on it with a ladder up inside of it. It would make an excellent watchtower. Senator Lugar of Indiana recently obtained more federal funding to renovate this facility, which is supposedly only for the repair of broken trains and where most of the buildings on the property haven't been used for years. It certainly appears they are expecting more than just broken trains.
America looks at a whole different implant for the human body. It's a microchip that can be used for identification and to get medical help. No bigger than a grain of rice, this chip is at the center of a growing battle over its benefits and drawbacks. CBS's Bobby Harley has both sides of the story and the first people to get the chip.
Yeah, we're ready. We've
a procedure that takes only seconds to carry out.
And the chip is now extruded, and we're finished.
Has turned the Jacobs family into medical pioneers. They are the first people to get chipped, implanted with a tiny device called a VeriChip that emits radio frequencies. A handheld scanner reads the VeriChip. Theoretically, police, paramedics, and hospital workers would use the information during an emergency. At a cost of $200 a chip, thousands of Americans are already lining up to get them. And Applied Digital Solutions, the company that developed the VeriChip, says this might only be the beginning. Company scientists are already working on a global positioning system, similar to what you'd use in your boat or your car, but to track people. And like the VeriChip, it would be small enough to implant in someone. But privacy advocates have concerns.
The problem here is that this is something that is going to be permanently implanted in people. And once that happens, I think there's going to be a real challenge to make sure that only that original intended use is made of the technology.
Something has to change, though. To use some system for permanently identifying safe people. Most of us are never going to blow anything up. And there's got to be something better than one of these photo IDs. A tattoo somewhere, maybe. The Saudis used an American device to scan the eyes of travelers. I wouldn't mind having something planted permanently in my arm that would identify me. If we don't do something, people are going to stop flying. If they stop flying, and I don't go to the Giants games, it means the
Coming up tonight, do parents have to resort to high-tech measures to protect their children? Well, you'll meet a man who says that you may want to implant a microchip in your children. Think that's a good idea in light of all the kidnappings?
This technology has been in development since 1999, and it was originally aimed towards the Alzheimer's markets for wandering parents and things to that effect. With the recent increase in abductions and kidnapping, both here and in Latin America, where it runs rampant, we believe that our technologies can be an aid and security to the parents and to loved ones in this age where security is very important.
Their mouths are full of bitterness and curses, and in their paths, nothing but ruin and misery, and the fear of God is not before their eyes. They have taken the hearts and minds. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth. Our human spirit is corrupted. Why do we worship greed? Because outside the limit of our sight, feeding offers perched on top of us from birth to death are our owners. are owners. They have us. They control us. They are our masters. Wake up. They're all about you, all around you.
Balance this phone.
The reptilians, they can be visible to business, but you see the flesh and weight of the reptilians, but you cannot see the reptilian itself. It may choose not to allow you to see it. So you have something of a paradox where the reptilian identified particular parts of its anatomy, its claws, and still remain invisible. If the reptilian wants to engender as much fear and terror from that reptilian, it can allow itself, it can reveal itself in its full reptilian glory.
Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Demonic. The eyes are shape-shifting.
So this is in Bern here, Switzerland, the capital of Switzerland. Here it says Anna Fyodorovna. She was married with the brother of a Russian Tsar, the Tsar Alexander I. But she got fed up with the climate in Russia, maybe the political climate, but supposedly it was too cold, so she came here to Bern in Switzerland. And before it was a monastery, But her real name is not Fyodorovna. Her real name was Juliana von Sachsen-Coburg. So this is where she lived. Pharaonic stuff here. And, well, who knows what has been there. It's gone, but something, you know. It all belonged to her. And this is where the Russian embassy is now. You know, it's still the fair aristocracy ruling. You know, the embassy, the politicians. It never ever changed, you know. And Juliana von Sachsen-Coburg, you know, like the English royal family, she was the niece of Queen Victoria of England, you know. They just come here and change their names, and afterwards she got the money of Tsar Alexander, you know, to buy this and to live here and to have a nice life and all this. It really is a nice place. He's next to the River Aare here. So while the Russian people were starving and their children dying, Juliana von Sachsen-Coburg, a German aristocrat, married to the Russians Tsars and to the brother of Tsar Alexander I, and a niece of the English royal family. You know, it's all the same. They just got the money from the people while children were starving. So that was just before the Russian Revolution, really. She died 1840 here. So let's have a look at the embassy then. So Switzerland is a real, Octagon is a really important part of it all. And this is how it looked like before. Oh, there's even a sun hieroglyph in it. There it is, a fish and a sun hieroglyph. Or is it a fish? So here again the lion. It's not an animal that ever was here in Europe, in Switzerland here. It's the symbol of the royalty, the royal bloodline of the fair aristocracy, which the European aristocracy, they took over of the pharaohs. And this looks like papyrus. It does, sort of. The river Nile. And there's a funny door. It looks like the round circles the Jews had to wear in the Middle Ages and in Muslim countries. The yellow round circles. I mean, it all has a meaning. There are 4 of them. 2 crosses here. Yeah. There's another line at the other side. Look at the mouth. So on the other side of the house, in the middle of mankind. So most certainly the descendants of these ones are living here. So now I probably won't see anything here, but I'll probably see that later when I look at the video. What is in here? Looks like a bunch of 6s. What's that? Ooh, sort of a voodoo stuff, eh? Look, there's some pharaonic voodoo here. It's a sort of a reptilian coming out of her stomach here, from the back. I don't know what that is. Look at it. It's like on the 50 francs. Franc bill, the money bill of the Swiss. Look at it. Here's some Swiss voodoo. What is this? Oh. Probably burning things here. Some real weird stuff coming out of the back here. That's weird, man. Oh, yeah, look at the arms. It's a reptilian coming out of the back.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
You see? This is Switzerland, folks. It's the home of evil.
Wow.
The pharaohs. So this creature crawling out of the back of a human being is the very same creature we can see here on the Swiss 50 francs bill. Here where the high nobility, this is not the low nobility, where the descendants of Juliana von Sachsen-Coburg, Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, you know, like the English royal house. Real funny things going on here in the land of hatred, Octagon. And this reptilian crawling out of the back of a human being even has these 3 fingers or 3-toed hands, which are quite typical for reptilians, and well, you can see it on a chicken, you know. Yeah. So why on earth would a normal human being make something like this, you know? This is also the reason why a lot of Masonic and hidden forces, they do the Masonic M gesture, which I'll show it to you.
I thought so.
Well, we can see it here too on some Babylonian stuff. You know, the typical 3 fingers as this thing crawling out of the back of a human being in Octagon, home of the devil, Switzerland. It's probably Semiramis. And even human beings have it sometimes related to some former events or mixtures, which is in their DNA coming back, like sometimes as a regression.
DNA.
So more, here we can see the M sign. Yeah, there's a lot of artists, politicians, and most of it all the aristocracy, or let's say the fair aristocracy, doing these sort of things. It's in their DNA. And sometimes, you know, this is called Mendel's laws. Sometimes it just comes back. And this is why this lovely lady here is doing the M sign as well, you know.
The hands, yeah.
It's also giving 2 V's, like in Uppies, the protection of the Pharaonic Empire. So this is Reine Bedoc. And in France, La Reine Bedoc, she really had 1 or 2 feet like this. And she was very much related to a little people like Les Cagots. This one apparently really existed. Of course, it's the fair aristocracy. And now they're the ones in power. It says La Reine Bedoc, the Queen of Bedoc. It's etymologically of pied, doigt. And oie is or pas de doigt, it is a goose. So it means goose foot. She was the Queen of the goose foot. Now here's the Fleur de Lis. It's all the fair aristocracy. This is La Reine Bedoc, who really existed. So that says the Queen Bedoc.
Wow, look at that.
And the Queen of Bedoc, the Queen with the goose foot, she was very much related with a very special tribe of people. There were over 1 million in France. It's
There's a
called
sign
Les
on their
Cagots.
shirt.
You can see they have the leopard sign of the goose foot or the reptilian foot on their chests. This is a very old drawing from France. I already showed you this. Even one of Napoleon's generals, he was a Cagot. And well, there are even some pictures of them made in the 50s. And so this is why this 3-finger reptilian, it has 3 fingers crawling out of the back. Here you can see it, 3 fingers. Typical reptilian sign. wearing it here in the Middle Ages. And these people, the Cargo,
Oh my gosh.
they were missing some things in their organs, and they could only live in the mountains, Switzerland, you know, and here in the south of France in the Pyrenees, but they probably made it to Switzerland. So here, for example, is a picture of a Cagotte. So that's the female with an E. So if you want to know, they're probably mixed and went to Switzerland. So here's some old people from history doing the M sign. I just call it the M sign, but it is in fact Le Pédoc, the goose foot or the reptilian foot. I don't know who that is.
They lived a long time. Symbolism everywhere.
Giving the M sign. The old Pope. Mason doing the M sign. Who is this doing the M sign? I saw this guy before somewhere. Who is that again? Oh yes, of course. He's doing the M sign as well. Mr. Mason. Another Mason doing the M sign. Hello, you traitor. Another M sign. This is Joseph Smith. Who invented the
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, no way. Oh my god. No way. I've got to stop for a minute. Poor people that check my YouTube channel. The times we are in, you just saw some of that. I'll show you what channel you can go and watch this on. You go and check this out for yourself. Swiss voodoo reptilian crawling out of a human being's back. Excellent YouTube channel. Right, let's just check my channel. Bloody heck, is demonic. Mind control. Swiss voodoo reptilian crawling out of a human being's back. I'm listening about my stream now, are you? 1 hour ago. Right. Do wonder. Messing about my streaming app. Signing out for now.
The back of a human being is the very...
I've got to sign out now.